Hello everyone and welcome to some free-to-play very short series of videos. Today I'm gonna talk about top 3 PvP epic commanders that you should work on. So if you are a free-to-play player, then you might want to listen to this video. My name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Kingdoms. Let's get started. If you guys gonna enjoy this particular type of video, like really short videos with a lot of information in it, just let me know in the comments because I have a couple more prepared. So again, top 3 PvP epic commanders that you should work on. Those are Palacios, Hermann and Sun Tzu. So these are the top 3 epic commanders that I would advise you that you should always work on, or you should try to have them maxed out. You might be saying, bro, but there is Eulji, there's a couple of more, why are you not mentioning? That's because of the utility that these 3 commanders can bring you. So from the epic commanders, Palacios is the best cavalry commander for just cavalry, preferably just cavalry. Same is for Hermann. He is the best archer from the epic commanders, and same is Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu is best because of his utility. So you can do AoE, you can do defense, you can use your infantry, and because of his skills, you can pretty much use almost anyone as a second in command to Sun Tzu, either because you want to do AoE or because you want to do just single target a lot of skill damage, because he does boost a bunch of skill damage. So let's go with Palacios and let's start with him. So obviously these are the cavalry talent builds for my Palacios. This is a level 60 Palacios, and obviously because he is level 60, I also build a Garrison for him. So this is his Garrison build for Palacios. Now the reason I build it like that is because Palacios has a rage restoration on his main skill. I'm not gonna go through the skills, guys. You can read yourself what the skill does. I want to try to do them as short as possible. So this is the Garrison build if you want to use him as Garrison, and personally I would prefer to go with him like this, with no die enemy and divine favor, because when people see a Palacios in defense, they tend to swarm. So no die enemy kind of give you a little bit of defensive option, and then you have the shield if you get swarmed. Then because he's a skill commander, and preferably you're going to use another skill commander as second in command, and mostly cavalry would be advisable, you might want to have some talents on the skill to increase the skill damage and to have even more rage restoration, so you can keep damaging the enemy that are attacking you. So again, cavalry, and that was the Garrison. Now who you could pair Palacios with for PvP, because that is the main reason of the video. Well, there is Babers, there is Palacios, there is Double C, which is my pair. Palacios and Double C is my pair for PvP. They both have quite insane healing together and rage restoration together, boost cavalry together, so there's nothing wrong. Palacios and Double C or any cavalry commander, Saladin, Genghis Khan, Minamoto, whichever cavalry commander they're going to be introduced in the future. You want to use him with Osman, can also work with Osman or Boudica, but preferably cavalry with cavalry. Right, second one, let's go to Hermann. So Hermann is an archer commander, you already know this, and he has a very powerful nuking ability. There's only 2 epics right now that can deal that much nuke in a single hit, and the second one would be Osman. But obviously I'm in favor of specialization commander, and I always recommend specialization commanders because that's valid for cavalry, or that's valid for infantry as well. It's very simple. When you go to the talents, you're noticing that you get a lot more bonuses for a specific type of units than for all units. So for example, you can see that if I put 2 points here, you get 2 attack on your archers, while the skill is more like generic, so it's for all the troops. Obviously it boosts the archers as well, but you can see you get 0.5. So going on the specialization talent path on any of the commanders, you get double stats for your troops. So that is the main reason why I always advise people to go specialization. Focus on specialization commanders. Use one type of troops, use specialization commanders, and you have way more stats and your troops are way more powerful. So this is the archer build that I have on Hermann. You're noticing that it's only 2 points there because there was nothing left. And obviously he has a Garrison build as well. And you're noticing that his Garrison build is slightly different than the others. Now the reason I built his Garrison build like that, because he's way too much focused on just nuking and he's way too much focused on rage restoration. So you want to have as much rage restoration as possible with this guy and as much nuking as possible. So that's the reason you have arrow knocked, because once the troops get to 50%, increase attack of all troops. So preferably if you want to use this in Garrison, you have mostly archers in the Garrison, so that way there's gonna be a lot of nuke. Even though it increased the attack of all troops, he's an archer commander, so it does boost a little bit the archers. Right, who you want to pair Hermann with? Well, Hermann makes a very nice pair with Osman from the epics. You can pair him with Kusunoki as well, there's nothing wrong. You can also work with Boudica, or can also work with any other legendary commander. My favorite was with El Cid, because they both have march speed on archers and the archers are actually really fast with El Cid, but it's not a lot of damage. I also use Hermann with YSG, so if you have YSG, Hermann and YSG, I also use them for rallies. So as hard as it sounds, if you want to rally cities as free to play or with epic commanders, go with specialization commanders. There's nothing wrong rallying cities or objectives with specialization commanders, and try to bring just specific type of troops, obviously either archers or cabs or infantry, depending on the commanders that you use. Now Sun Tzu, it would be the third one that I would advise you to work on. Now why I'm choosing Sun Tzu as third instead of Euji Mundok is because of his main skill. So Sun Tzu does a fan shape area. That means that it can also give you the capability of AoE farming. So you can use him for PvP, you can use him for Garrison, or you can use him for farming. And people do use Sun Tzu a lot for doing AoE barbarian farming, which for free to play, this is something you need to get used to it. So Sun Tzu is a very good addition to your army. The only boost that Sun Tzu does to the infantry is specified here. Infantry health bonus 10%. The damage taken reduction applies to any type of troops, because it says there is specific, they are specifically separate, so it's damage taken reduction by 10% and infantry health bonus. Obviously advisable for him is to go with only infantry, or if you use him as a Garrison, it would be advisable to have as much infantry as possible. So this is my Sun Tzu infantry build. Again, he's too much focused on doing skill damage, so it's kind of a pity not to have the full skill for more rage restoration, so he can keep nuking more and more and more. This is the Garrison part, and this is the infantry part, which increase the defense of all troops by 6% when the Garrison goes to 50%. Now again, there is option, so like any other skill commanders that I just showed you, if you're not happy with Feral Nature or if you're not happy with Call of the Pack, you can always go full Garrison and you can always have the Divine Favor, while you can still keep the base of the skill, which is having Clarity and Rejuvenate. So you can swap things around if it doesn't make you really happy having Feral Nature, but again with Sun Tzu I would prefer more Rage Restoration. I would rather have a machine gun or skills in my Garrison or in my defense rather than just trying to be more defensive. Obviously he has infantry as well, and I believe this is the one. Yeah, so this is the Sun Tzu infantry build, and obviously skill. So even if I would have to put Sun Tzu with just infantry, he's too much focused on doing skill damage, so I would just try to do a lot of skill damage with him. So this is his infantry build. Now who would I pair Sun Tzu with? his best mate, a second in command from epics or free to play, it would be Eulji Mundok. So as crazy as it sounds, they both do skill damage, they both boost infantry, and there's nothing wrong with using Sansu and second Eulji Mundok. A second to Sansu, there is various of other commanders you can go with, like AoE commanders, which can be Babers as well, as crazy as it sounds, but preferably not. You could go with YG as well, you could go with Mehmed if you want, Hannibal Barca, but Hannibal Barca is way too advanced, it's VIP 14, so it's not very easy obtainable for most players. But yes, a second in command, you can even go with Hermann if you like. So there's various of options some you can go with because of his skills. He boosts skill damage way too much with the options that he has. And the rage restoration. So there's a various of options. You can go with Sansu. Now another option you can use Sansu with is how is one of my builds. So I'm sidetracking from the top 3, and that would be Babers primary with just Cavalry and Sansu secondary. That's why my Sansu is on Garrison, because my Sansu is primary Garrison commander, and the way I use Sansu in my army is with Babers primary and Sansu secondary, and I use only Cav. So this is the Babers talent build. So you see that I'm focused on mostly mobility and damage, mobility and damage, mobility and damage. That's what I'm focused on Babers. The reason Sansu is secondary because of the amount of rage restoration I can get from Sansu, and they both hit up to 5 targets. So there's a lot of nuke damage from both of them, which is really nice. Since I'm already, and I mentioned about Eulji Mundok, this is the infantry build on my Eulji Mundok, and I might plan to change it a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. I might just go for the elite soldiers and drop the martial mastery, since my plan for him is to use him with Alexander. But first I just want to try it out like this, and then I'm gonna decide if it's gonna work or not. So that's my plan on Eulji Mundok, to use him with Alexander, and this is the Garrison build. So this is my Eulji Mundok Garrison build, or the build that I would advise to use with Eulji Mundok. Right now, as I said, I want this to be really short. That's 12 minutes. So again, top 3 free to play or epic commanders that you want to work on. Right? If you guys like this type of videos, or if you prefer more in-depth knowledge or more details about why is this, why is that, or you just want short videos, just let me know in the comments below and I'll know in the future. Until next time, this is your boy Legend Ronnie signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care.